Shalom everybody. This is our part 3 and the reading of the Torah of Mashiach. In this video, we will be revealing the secrets of light, the secrets of sound, and the divine form. So with that being said, let us begin. On page 12, now the light that entered into the vacancy descended, differentiating its white light into a spectrum of light. We find that all color is within white light, and that each color is differentiated by frequency and vibration. The white light manifests as a reflection of the simple light of the illimitable, which contains within it all light. And when the simple light descended, it differentiated itself by bringing out varying degrees spectrum. We learn also that light as well as sound is conal in nature. From the hard spark emerge 7 lower sparks, as has been explained. And so we learn that from this, there are 7 types of waves. The 7 types are radio waves, microwaves, infrared, visible light, ultraviolet, X-rays, and gamma rays. So when the light of the endless entered into the restriction, it descended and began to differentiate itself, putting on layers as it were. Thus we learn from this that light is differentiated by varying degrees of vibration. We learn that the light gathered and poured in from all directions, and from this we learn that the light is circular. The same thing is with sound. The restriction is the secret of the nikud, or vowel. Nikud also means points. The vowels, or an example, the sound, also takes the form of the restriction or the simsum. We learned in our previous video that there were 7 sparks that emerged. And in the secret of those 7 sparks, we find that the light differentiates itself into a spectrum of 7 colors, and also that there are 7 types of waves. Continuing forward, we learned that as the light descended, it did so and took upon itself a conal shape. We thus see that light emits in a conal fashion, in the same likeness with sound that emits with a conal fashion, having a starting point and through a circular aspect expanding outward, as seen here on page 13. Accordingly, there are 7 notes to the musical scales, and this is because when the light of the endless entered into the hard spark and differentiated itself into these 7, we find that not only did it differentiate itself into the aspects of the light and the 7 types of electromagnetic waves, we find that it also differentiated itself into the 7 notes of a musical scale. This is the secret of sound. We also learned that light and sound are conal because of this shape and secret. We also learned that the white light contained within inside of it all of the spectrum of light. For when we pass white light through a prism, we can see the spectrum of light is revealed. Now when the straight light entered into the mind and thought, which is the restriction and the hard spark, it did so in the secret of the 22 letters, forming 2 aspects, the form and structure of the spheros and the letters. This reveals that the mind generates images, because the image of the Sefirot came about via the straight light, the linear Sefirot, entering the restriction or the mind. Furthermore, the 22 letters were in the secret of the heart spark or thought. This reveals that our thoughts are in the secret of words, which are letters, while the mind generates images. When the straight light entered into the mind and thought, because of its root in the endless, it could not be grasped due to the height of the limit, which is the mind, and the depth of the limit, which is the thought. Due to this, the mind and thought became silenced and perplexed. Thus we find that mind and thought of man cannot ascertain the root of the letters. This is because the root of the straight light itself was the endless and illimitable. Now when the straight light descended, it struck the heart spark. Thus we find that the 231 gates, which are the 22 letters, are the secret of potentiality and possibility. We learn from this that the brain is the root and source of potentiality and possibility, because it is the manifested form of the heart spark and the supernal pattern. Now the heart spark were the fronts and backs of the Sefirot, and the root of this matter has been explained. Thus we learn that the 22 Hebrew letters entered in to the restriction in the secret of the backs and fronts of the Sefirot. The restriction or the Simsum is the secret of the mind, and the 22 letters entering in the backs and fronts of the Sefirot, or the linear Sefirot called Ora Yashar, or the straight light, refers to an image, meaning that the mind, an example, the secret of the restriction, that receives the straight light produces images, while the 231 gates, which is the secret of thought, as it is written in the beginning when Israel arose in thought, produces the secret of the letters in terms of words. And so we find that the mind produces the images, an example, the restriction, which is the mind of the Atik, and the heart spark, or the brain, produces thoughts, and these thoughts are the secret of words. Thus we may also understand the supernal form of man, being these two trees, and they refer to the fronts and backs of the Sefirot. We find when analyzing the connection between Malchus, which is Kaf, and the backside of Keter, which is Lamed, the secret of the supernal form, and this is Et Adam, Et the man, and it reveals the entire tree. To the fronts is located precisely in the Keter of the tree of the backside. This is the supernal form of the human being, as it is shown here. This refers to the 22 letters being the 11 fronts and the 11 backs of the Sefirot, as it was stated that the 22 letters entered into the restriction and was the secret of the light. We learn that when scrutinizing the letter Kaf, which is the front side of Malchut, and Lamed, the backside of Keter, that the entire tree of the fronts is located precisely in this one Sefirot. This would refer to the Guf, the body, and this, the head of the body. We thus find that within Keter, or the head of the body, is an entire tree of the fronts. That is to say, the two lobes of the brain, the eyes, the nose, the ears, the mouth, etc. Thus the word front, pane, is like the word panim, meaning face, and hints to the idea that the fronts of the Sephiros are located precisely in the head. This is called tree on top of tree, and partakes of the supernal form. This supernal form is also the secret of the straight light when it descended in. Now the root of the 22 letters is found in the illimitable itself, and because the mind was restricted by the height, the limit of the height, and the heart spark or thought was by the limit of the depth, neither the mind nor thought could comprehend the greatness of the light of the word. And therefore, as a direct reflection of its inability to conceive the true light of the illimitable, we in our mind and our thoughts neither conceive the true light of the illimitable and the letters. The Zohar says regarding this, that not even angels or supernal beings know anything of these letters. And in fact, the Zohar goes on to say that Mashiach alone will be able to reveal the secret of these letters. And this tells us exactly what we should be looking for. When the Mashiach arrives, he will reveal the letters. Now we find that the supernal form is divided into 3 columns, and they are right, left, and center. Right is the secret of bone in Abba, which is Chokmah, the top of the right. Abba means father and refers to the male. Thus we learn that every male produces white, mainly in the secret of semen, and this whiteness produced in the secret of life, as it is written, wisdom, or Chokmah, gives life to its possessor. The left column in the woman is the secret of Bina, who is called Ima, or mother, and refers to the female, as every female produces red. The center of both is yellow, and so the center of the body produces yellow. For this reason, our urine, stomach bile, phlegm, teeth plaque, boogers, earwax, and eye crust are all yellow. Regarding this, it is written to have wisdom and understanding, and to understand in wisdom. Wisdom is the secret of bone, and understanding is the secret of flesh. From this we see wisdom, or bone, is inside of flesh, and understanding, or flesh, is inside of bone, wisdom. An example, the bone marrow. Here is an image that depicts the skeleton and the flesh, or to have wisdom and understanding. We can see better clearly here. The top of the right is Chokmah, as it was explained, and this is the Partsufim called Abba, which means father or male. It is written, Chokmah, or wisdom, gives life to its possessor. We learn that the whiteness that the male produces is in the secret of life, and that this is the secret of semen. Their uniting place is in the sphere of Yisod, that is to say, the reproductive organ of the guf, or body. The same thing with the left column, which is the sphere of Binah at the top, which is parts of Imo, or mother, that every female produces red, mainly from the reproductive organ. We learn the center column is that which is yellow. We learn to have wisdom and understanding means to have bone and flesh, and to understand in wisdom means to have flesh and bone. Thus he divided the blood into these three, and they are red blood cells, white blood cells, and yellow plasma. We thus see the exact secret of the human body. So we learned white bone, red flesh, and the center is yellow. That was the secret of urine, stomach acid, phlegm, teeth plaque, earwax, boogers, eye crust, etc. We see that these three columns of the tree are to be found in the secret of blood as well, for blood is made out of red blood cells, white blood cells, and yellow plasma. Now these matters have been briefly explained, and let us continue onwards. Understand that the straight light struck the heart spark, which produced the seven sparks, which are referred to as the seven kings of Edom, etc. Now when they emerged, they did so from outside the heart spark. They fell in the secret of the world of Tohu, by which one Sephiros was atop of the other. This refers to the linear aspects of the kings, while the initial emergence refers to the circular aspect of the kings. Thus we have 22 bones in our skull, which houses the brain, and its function has been explained. Now the seven kings fell in the aforementioned manner, and emerged in the secret of the bones in the neck. Thus there are 7 bones in our neck, and they are in a linear fashion after the aforementioned secret. It is known that Satan is called Pharaoh, etc., and this is a rearranging of the letters for neck, Aref, because the neck here is formed by these 7 bones, and its function is to eat the dust, Ofer, of the things destroyed by the mouth that enter into the throat here. And so we can see an example of the emanation of the head of the Atik in relation to our body. We can see the backs and fronts of the Spheros, of the secret of the brain, which are the secrets of the 231 gates contained inside of the skull, which has 22 bones, a direct reflection of the 231 gates, which is the head of the Atik formed by 22 letters. We see the 7 kings of Edom that emerge from that place, which are the secret of the 7 holes in the skull. We find now that they emerged in the secret of Tohu, one on top of the other, and that this is the secret of the 7 bones in the neck. We thus can see a depiction of it here, and on the right side here. And so up to this point, we have discussed the secrets of the restriction and the heart spark, or the mind and thought. We have revealed the secrets of the skull, the supernal pattern or form, the natures of sound and light, being circular and conal as it has been made known. We have now further expounded the bones in the neck, flesh and bone and flesh, the secrets of blood itself, being red, white, and yellow. And that will conclude this particular video. We will go into much deeper detail under the constructions of the king in part 4. So with that being said, Shalom and Selah.